The things that I wanted to point out, and this is a very picky side of things, and it's because I'm trying to be as transparent as I can in this review, right? So there's not many things that have actually troubled me about this car. It doesn't make any squeaks, it doesn't rattle. The build quality is incredibly good. It's way better than the Model 3 was. The Model 3 squeaked and rattled and made all sorts of noises. Even the center console doesn't really move and doesn't really make any noise. So great job by BYD at building a car that feels every bit premium for a brand that many won't consider to be a premium brand. The carpet, however, is the one thing where I would highly recommend that you get yourself a set of floor mats. Now, whether they're genuine floor mats or whether they're the molded rubber mats that you can buy, I'm waiting for a custom set to be made. So that's the only reason I don't have mats in here, and I apologize that at the moment the carpet is not so clean. I've experienced a bit of wear and tear that I've started noticing on the driver's side around where my foot would normally rest, just underneath the brake pedal. Now, my shoes are standard sneakers. They're not work boots, they're not high heels. If you were wearing work boots or high heels, you would probably experience a lot more aggressive wear and tear in such a short period of time. By contrast, the passenger section has next to no wear and tear, and that's the bit that gets used very infrequently. So you can see that it's just a little bit of wear on a daily basis for the driver's side is going to give you a very different experience when it comes to how that car actually goes. Now, out of all the cars that I've ever owned or reviewed or even experienced used vehicle reviews, I've never seen the floor itself or the carpet wear out so quickly in a brand new car. So that's the one thing I'd recommend. Get yourself a set of floor mats. I don't have any suggestions other than the ones that I'm waiting to get, but I haven't personally tried them. So I'll put a link to that website in the comment section, but wait for the review that I do on those floor mats. So that's basically it. All right, so what has it been like to actually live with this car on a daily basis and to drive the car? Well, it's been really comfortable. The seat is far more comfortable and more supportive than the previous Model 3 that I had. And in terms of the display, having the heads-up display and having the main centered display here is super informative and very, very helpful in being able to just see what you're doing. The center display over here, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatible, makes it super, super easy to just plug my device in and start experiencing what I need to experience when it comes to maps, when it comes to podcasts, audio, anything that I need. It's been pretty good there. One of the other great things that I really like about the BYD versus the Model 3 that I previously had after this many Ks is the screen itself has a number of different camera modes, including a 360-degree view, which just makes it really easy to park and navigate some of the trickier parking scenarios around town. And it's still disappointing that in 2024, the Model 3 doesn't come with a front camera, despite having all of the other cameras around. Now, one thing I will add to that is the one thing that I'm missing quite a lot that I got really used to in the Model 3 is when you indicate, the Model 3 on the center display will throw up a fairly chunky sized image of the side that you're turning or indicating on for the blind spot camera that shows you that blind spot area. That's actually really handy, and as I've been driving this and I don't have that anymore, you definitely notice that you got used to it and it was very handy to have. So that's one thing there to Tesla that, you know, maybe could be a feature that BYD can add. The other thing that I would say as well is with this particular car, the app functionality is not as seamless as the Model 3, and the Tesla app in general is just fantastic in being able to schedule things and just being able to use the car without having to carry keys. It's the best thing about that particular car, and it's the one thing that I definitely think is very valuable. Now, the beeps and the buzzing that all the journalists and everyone has been complaining about. So you can turn off quite a few of those. The main beeping that actually comes is telling you the intelligent speed limit alerts, and that's basically the cameras reading the speed sign in the area and telling you that you're doing 62 in a 60 zone, and that's when it starts beeping. So you can actually turn that off. It will still display the speed, it will just turn off the audible warning. So that's in the settings, and you can easily get that changed. So you're not really going to have to worry too much about some of those kind of pesky things. The one disappointing thing is that the lane departure alert and the lane keep assist is still very aggressive in the way it will try to maneuver you away from what it perceives to be a dangerous situation. but I've had it trigger when I've just been on a normal road and a car's been coming the other direction. There's been a couple of times where the system has pulled to the left and I've had to avoid and pull the other way. So just something to let you know there as well. So past that, let's show you the camera system. So with the reverse camera, as you can see, it's pretty clear in the display. It's a sizable screen, which means you're not bunching this together and you're getting a very nice bird's eye view over here, because the car actually has a 360-degree camera system, including the front camera. You will have plenty of visibility. So you can also opt for a 3D mode, which gives you a full wraparound of the car, including old mate going past with his kid, and to make sure that you've parked in the lines. Now, once you get out of this, you can change the views, so you can change the side cameras, you can look at the front camera, the back camera, you can have an overview of just the sides, and you can just look at the front. So plenty of usability for the camera system. When you do put it in reverse, the beauty is it also gives you movable guidelines. So you're going to see that the lines actually change to show you where you're going to end up, to hopefully help you park a little bit straighter and have just a little bit of an easier experience parking up. The cool thing as well is this actually offers a screen that will actually move. So if you wanted to rotate the screen and have a different view and have 3 positions for that camera, you can definitely have that as part of your settings, or even just rotate it quickly when you're about to reverse or when you're about to park, and then put it back to normal. Personally, I haven't used that function. I've actually left it in this mode unless I've been showing friends or people that have been in the car with me that you can move the screen. So that side of it there. The dash I really like, because the soft touch materials throughout the dash make it very nice and premium in terms of the feel. And there's no real noise or rattles or squeaks or anything that come from that. So it's been fantastic there again. And the rear vision mirror is auto dimming as well. So that's been quite handy. The one thing though, however, sometimes it can be a little bit oversensitive. That was the beauty of the Model 3 that I previously had, where I was able to deactivate the auto dimming, and it would just be a normal mirror when it needed to be a normal mirror. So just a little functionality that hopefully BYD can add in the future. A couple of other things that I really like about this car is when you go into the home settings and you go into your air conditioning mode, everything is pretty easy to lay out, and there's even smart air, and the smart air actually moves the vents left and right, up and down, to just keep the air flowing in all different positions, rather than having just, you know, the one position that you have to physically move. And unlike the Tesla, where it was just always a pain to try to get it to point right at my face on longer drives when I needed to have that fresh air hitting my face, this actually does a pretty good job at that. So again, just another tick for BYD. And having ventilation for the seats has been an absolute godsend here in Queensland recently. And it's as simple as swiping that or swiping that to put it onto heating mode. The one downside is there's no rear seat heating in this particular car, which was a handy feature for some of my passengers in the Model 3 previously. There is an air purification mode as well. So if you were in a more, if you were in a more polluted city with poor air quality, you can actually filter the air and improve the air quality at the same time as well. So that is a really handy feature for those of you watching this video outside of Australia. The 2 charging pads at the top here have been pretty awesome, and the great thing is, for whatever reason, the Model 3 never used to charge with my phone in the case, even though this is a MagSafe charging case. So in the BYD, that plugs in and charges all the time, and you can have 2 devices fast charging as well. So that's just been another little quirk that I've really enjoyed. So cup holders have been in logical places, and the cool thing is that they're adjustable, and the armrest is in a place where it's just very comfortable. So overall, the drive has been very, very comfortable, and I would highly recommend this car for anyone looking at a vehicle. Cup holders have been in logical places, and the cool thing is that they're adjustable, and the armrest is in a place where it's just very comfortable. So overall, the drive has been very, very comfortable, and I would highly recommend this car for anyone looking at a vehicle. So there you have it, guys. Those are my impressions of the BYD Seal so far, after a tremendous amount of driving in this, several charges both publicly and privately. and a lot of people that have gone in the car and given me their feedback on some of the features that they like with the car, as well as some of the features that maybe they think could be improved. So definitely would recommend go have a drive, test drive the BYD. If you need it for a bit longer, hit the guys up at Share EV if you're in Brisbane, rent the car from them for a week, a couple of days, whatever it might be. Get a feel for how the car is going to fit into your life and how you're going to use the car. Because as great as some electric cars can be, they're not going to fit into everyone's life as seamlessly as they might have into mine. Public charging, as I said, depending on what cost you have access to in terms of your electricity, public charging may be a little bit cost prohibitive for you, but the car itself is just fantastic in terms of every other way. I'm going to hit up BYD and try to get a Dynamic, which is the base model with a much shorter range, because I actually think that that could be the car that everyone should be buying instead of the higher spec models for everyday use around most of our cities. So leave your comments in the comment section, ask any questions, what you want to know about the car that we didn't cover off in this particular review, and I can't wait to speak to you guys next time with some more exciting information on some of our EVs that we're reviewing.